Good morning and welcome to After GMS. It is Monday. Yes, but it feels great. It's Monday, July 26th. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris and Ed Matthews.
Yeah, it feels great because for now, at least, it is not raining. Although, Ed, it is really getting warmer this week.
Yeah, warming up. And of course, we've always got plenty of humidity, it seems like. You know, I like to show those dew points. I'd rather show them to you when they're like in the 40s and 50s and we're enjoying comfortable dry air. Of course, it's July and that's not the case. Yeah, dew points are in the upper 60s and lower 70s across the area. So that just means essentially there's a lot of water vapor in the atmosphere, and you get a free sauna when you head out the door this morning because of the humidity, and temperatures are already well into the 70s across the area. Now, some of this water vapor is going to translate into scattered storms this afternoon. A couple of things that we're going to be watching. First of all, any storms that develop may be slow movers, and also we may have what we call training storms. That's when you have repeated storms moving over the same geographical area, and that can produce flash flooding. So we are in the slight risk area, in the yellow area there for southern Virginia and for the Triad region and out into the Blue Ridge for the possibility of maybe a few pockets of flash flooding that could lead to maybe some flash flood warnings be issued. We'll watch that, of course, very closely. Also, one or two storms may become strong or severe with some damaging winds. There's a low end risk of that, a marginal risk, level 1 from the Triad through the Triangle and on down into the coastal plain of North Carolina. Time frame I'm looking at between about 3 p.m. and about 8 p.m. this evening for some scattered storms across the area. So your forecast team will be able to keep a close eye on these. And of course, if you've got your WFMY News 2 weather app on your phone, of course, you'll be able to track the storms on radar as well. 50% chance of those showers and storms, and we'll see those cumulus clouds really start to grow, and that'll hold temperatures in the mid 80s today. You won't feel the difference because it's just going to be so humid. And then the storms diminish this evening, mostly cloudy and muggy low 70s. Tonight, still a storm chance tomorrow afternoon, 40% chance, but the trend will be through the week for the chance of afternoon storms to diminish, and yeah, the heat's going to crank up. Yeah, look at Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Ooh boy, we're looking at some hot low 90s as air conditioning units across the Piedmont will be working overtime, mine included.
Oh yes, overtime heat, overtime work for you, Ed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's okay, you're used to it.
I'm used to it, yeah.
Especially in the summer. All right, so we're expecting some warmer waves of temperatures, but also a wave of the Delta variant is our top story this morning. COVID-19 has not gone away yet, and it's crossing this wave of cases across the country and here in North Carolina. This morning, the question is, have you noticed more people wearing masks as the state's key COVID metrics rise? Share what you're seeing in the comments, and here's some background. So nationwide, the number of new cases is up nearly 50% in the past week, with all 50 states reporting increased infection totals. This wave is attributed to the virus's more contagious Delta variant. The CDC is now reconsidering whether to reinstate mask guidance for fully vaccinated people indoors and in public. Dr. Anthony Fauci says the CDC is actively looking at whether mask guidelines need to change.
Let's look at some of our North Carolina COVID metrics here. As of recently, the state added nearly 2,000 new cases on Friday. The state has not reported a daily case count this high since late April, 3 months ago. The latest totals are nearly quadruple what they were just 2 weeks ago. And the percent positive is showing a bit of a similar trend. The latest is 6.7%, meaning the percentage of all tests that have positive results for COVID. Friday was the 6th day in a row we've been above the red line, which is the state's goal of 5% or lower. You can spot how our trends have changed. The left side of this graph shows a steady leveling off. The right side shows a steady climb. Let's get back to our question. Have you noticed more people wearing masks as we watch key COVID metrics rise?
Well, we did get some responses via text this morning. Bobby said, I noticed when I went to Four Seasons Mall to meet a friend Saturday, and I did see more people wearing masks again. One viewer wrote in and said, I am vaccinated and never stopped wearing my mask in public places. I've noticed a steady decline of people wearing masks on the west side of Greensboro. We had another comment that said, I'm fully vaccinated, but I never took mine off. Too many loved ones still at risk. And Lydia said, sadly, I'm one of those fully vaccinated folks who is wearing a mask again inside crowded establishments. And we heard from another viewer who said masks should be gone. Sandra said, I've seen more people without masks, and I think that's a mistake. We had a viewer write in from Haw River, said, to each their own, but masking up through the winter for this guy. So again, that's a question. Are you seeing more people starting to wear masks again because of, well, we don't really know people's reasons, but you know, the CDC is saying that they're starting to reconsider mask guidelines. People may decide to wear masks again for that reason, or maybe because other people are not being vaccinated and they want to protect themselves. So there's several different reasons. Let's see what people are saying.
Yeah, so Debbie said she has been vaccinated but still wears her mask. This past week, she said she saw a lot more people wearing masks while out and about. Pamela feels the same way. She wears hers and have had both vaccines. She said she does see a lot of people without them still. Bobby, as we shared earlier, he added another comment here on the live feed saying more people were wearing them in downtown Greensboro. Dana said not in Atlanta, went to a restaurant and no one had on masks around them, but her and her table and the server. She said people looked at them like they were crazy. All right, this is an interesting conversation. I agree with a couple of these viewers just in the experience part of what they wrote. I have been fully vaccinated, as I have said, just my choice and how I feel I need to protect my family. But I still have kept a mask handy for places like the grocery store, places where there might be crowds, because I have a little one at home who's too young to be vaccinated, too young to wear a mask. And so with all this that's still unknown about how COVID, and especially this new strain, could affect young children, I feel like this is maybe the only thing I can do right now to protect him. So Ed, a lot of obviously different opinions about this. Of course, health leaders worrying that maybe re-implementing some kind of a mask guidance could deter people from getting the vaccine, thinking that they don't work, even though the data shows they do work in keeping a large number of people out of hospitals from COVID-19. Where do you fall in this?
Well, you mentioned the supermarket, and that's a place that I still wear a mask, you know, with a crowd of people in your, you know, around produce and meats and things like that. I think I see more people who are wearing a mask at the supermarket than, say, in just a regular store like Target or Walmart or something like that. And even at restaurants, I don't see a lot of people wearing masks. I would say as much as 40 to 50% of the people that I see in the supermarket are wearing masks. So for me, it just depends on where I happen to be as to, you know, the number of masks. I still wear mine in the supermarket. I kind of look around and see what kind of crowd I've got, you know, around me, and then I make a decision. I've always got a mask in my pocket, so I can pull that thing out and put it on real quick.
Yeah, it's like your weather clicker. You never go home without it.
I don't leave home without it.
It's so funny. So we have heard from the governor who originally I guess I would say lifted restrictions once that positivity rate went under that 5% line. And now we're starting to see that percent positive number above 5%. I think on Friday it was 6.6%, somewhere around there. So it'd be interesting to see what he does as he keeps encouraging people to get vaccinated. But that's not really translating in terms of the numbers. We're not really seeing the impact of the lottery, where you have a chance to win $1 million if you are a vaccinated adult, or a 12 to 17-year-old could win $125,000 towards a scholarship. That really hasn't motivated a lot of people to get vaccinated, according to the numbers. So in response to what Jason was saying about, you know, I wonder how many of those people who were vaccinated who are in hospitals right now are unvaccinated. doctors say a large number of those cases. So, it's just another thing to think about when you're making decisions about what is best for your family. No one can tell you really what you are feeling or experiencing. Right. So you really have to kind of take into account, who are the people around me? What am I doing? Kind of like you, Ed, observing the situation before deciding.
Yeah, and I want to say, I'm not going to hound the people that have not gotten vaccinated. I do honestly believe that this is a personal choice, a personal and a very personal decision, if you will. But if you're on the borderline and you're thinking, well, I wasn't going to get vaccinated, but I'm kind of thinking more and more about it. I think if you have a fear, you can diminish that fear by talking to your health provider about the risk, if there are any risk to the shot. I think, I just firmly believe the more people we get vaccinated, the better things are going to be for our society as a whole. But having said that, I'm not going to look down on anybody that chooses not to get vaccinated. I think it is indeed a personal choice.
And you did bring up a good point. Talk to your doctor. Talk to someone reputable, a knowledgeable medical professional if you're debating making this decision still. And that's okay. Like Ed said, it is your choice. This discussion is not us telling you to do it or not to do it. Everyone has different medical histories. Everyone has different circumstances. Everyone has different risk levels. But if you're debating, talk to your doctor, look at the reputable research that's out there. I did a lot of research before making my decision as well. And it can really help you feel like you're making an educated decision that's best for you and your family.
All right, this has been a great conversation. I know a lot of people are still talking about it online. We encourage you to do so. But let's go ahead and take a break, take a breath. We'll pause for some headlines, and then we have another great conversation coming up.
All right, let's get to those morning headlines now, and we'll start with this. The city of Greensboro wants to hear from you about nightlife safety. The city council is hosting a town hall meeting at Barber Park at 3 o'clock today. Leaders want people to see a positive or possibilities in a safety ordinance. This is an idea, remember, the city council has been discussing for months now, following several shootings and stabbing at bars and clubs in the city. All lanes of I-40 in Winston-Salem are back open after this fire started in a construction zone last night. Police say all westbound lanes of I-40 at Peters Creek Parkway temporarily shut down after a generator erupted in flames just after 11. Thankfully, no one got hurt. Officers were on scene for hours, though, during the cleanup. There was even hazmat out there. It's still unclear what caused that fire.
Another tried restaurant is closing. Crafted in Winston-Salem closed over the weekend. A sign of the times, really, as restaurants feel the effect and impacts of the COVID pandemic. Owner and chef Chris Fuller says many factors led to the decision, including quality of life for her family and the pandemic's toll on staff. She says some employees decided to move to the Greensboro Crafted location, which does remain open. We're waiting to hear who won North Carolina's third vaccine lottery. State leaders drew the names of the round 3 winners last Wednesday. A vaccinated adult will win $1 million. A vaccinated 12 to 17-year-old will win a $125,000 scholarship. It could take a few days before the names are announced because of a lengthy vetting process.
All right, well, students will be turning to classrooms in about a month now. The countdown is on to the traditional school calendar, and we're asking you today in our second talker, how do you start back to school shopping? How early do you begin doing it? Are you already finished? Let us know in the comments below. Well, we'll give you some perspective here. The National Retail Federation says families with children in elementary through high school plan to spend an average of $848 on school items for this upcoming school year. That is $59 more than last year, and likely includes clothes and factors other than your traditional classroom desk materials. So how early do you start back to school shopping? Let us know in the comments below while we talk about it. We do have a few responses that already came in through our text line. Sandra said she has started. This viewer said, my daughter and I start early, so there's no big struggle close to school. Already started this year. Great perspective. I've always been kind of an early bird gets the worm type of person. It stresses me out to procrastinate. So when my son is of the age to go back to school shopping, I guarantee will be one of the first people in line. And plus you get a wide variety of choices when you go early and not everything is picked over. That said, shopping for multiple children can really be expensive. I'm one of 3. I remember going shopping when I was younger, and all of that stuff really adds up. And a lot of families cannot afford ample school supplies for their children. So teachers oftentimes have to spend hundreds of dollars out of pockets just to make sure the students get what they need. So thankfully, we have a wide variety of resources here in the Triad. Teacher supply warehouses in almost every county that allows teachers free shopping days to get some of those supplies that they need, supplies that are donated oftentimes by you and some of our community initiatives that we're so proud to participate in every year. So thankfully, there are options here. But wow, you hear that $848, Ed, that really is expensive.
That mounts up rather, and that's got to include, I would assume, clothes and things like that. So your children can be ready to go back to school. I don't have to shop for back to school, but if I did have to, you know, my favorite phrase is get her done early. That's what I would do. As you mentioned, Megan, you know, you have a nice supply of things before things get picked over. I'm not a last minute shopper kind of guy because I just don't like to be stressed out, you know? And so I would say that if I did do it, I would say the earlier the better.
Well, there are so many stores out there with so many deals right now. Target, Walmart, you name it. Amazon, I mean, you can get just about anything for a good price right now. So there is some benefit to starting early. We do have the lists, and that is great because when teachers or schools put out that information, then you have a decision about when you want to start your back to school shopping. We have not started, but we do have the list and we know what we have to get, and that means like a little at a time every week until August 23rd when my oldest son goes to kindergarten. Amazing. Time flies. But yeah, you know, what we have done as we started, you know, scaling back the amount of time that he has at night, you know, he was going to bed at like 9. Now it's like, it was 8 o'clock maybe about 2 weeks ago. And this week we started 7:30 because he has to be at school by like 7:20. The first bell is 7:25. For this school year for elementary school students. And right now he's waking up at 7:30. So we're gonna have to, you know, make sure that he gets out of the house on time. Of course, I'll be here, so I'll be relying on my husband, who is also late for everything.
And Tracy, I wanted to say, you mentioned this during the Good Morning Show, and I thought that you brought up a very good point. You have the list of things that you will need to purchase for the school year, and you said that there were some items on there that you hadn't really thought about needing. So I would assume that that list that's made by the school really comes in handy.
Well, it's things that you thought would be provided by the school, like construction paper,
right,
glue, you know, things that you thought schools would give the kids, but I don't know if it's because of COVID and they want every child to have their own right at their station. I'm not sure because I didn't have a child in school last year, so I don't know if this is new, but it includes things that scissors, you know, I assumed pencils and colored pencils and things like that. But yeah, lots of that other stuff, I had no idea. So something to think about. I assumed it was because of COVID because they don't want kids sharing things, but tissues, box of tissues, you have to have sanitizer, which I thought the school provided, and maybe they do, but maybe they want students to have it also at their desks. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, well, Joanne said, thank goodness she's been out of that loop for many years. She said watching the great-grands get ready with no expense for her is great, and she gave a thumbs up to that. Nadine is waiting to shop for school supplies until the open house. So,
oh my gosh, I'm going to get a tea.
Okay, yeah. Do you see what's going on?
Yeah, I think it's a fly.
Hey, that's one of my pets.
Oh.
That's one of my pets on the Greensboro weather cam.
So funny. I was just like, I was going to be cool with it until I saw the little tentacles.
I think there's a wasp,
It's a wasp.
nest up there, but I'm not going to go up there and investigate.
Please don't. I'm safe, by the way, virtually.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Robin said back to school shopping makes no sense for what these schools are asking for the students. One child costs her more than $85, and that is not including clothes for her child. So that's an interesting perspective too. And then Ella wanted to know, Tracy, if you were shocked how long the kindergarten list was.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive. It's like 2 pages basically. And again, I don't know what to expect. I'm a new parent coming in, although I'm already on the PTA. I don't know how that happened. I'm already on the PTA, which is fine. But Jay said, not new. The parents supply the items for all students in the class. See, that's good to know because I didn't know. So I'm ready to check off our list. I don't want my son to not have what he needs, but I also understand that we're in a position where we can pay for those things. So we're going to do a little extra shopping and make sure any other students in the class who don't have things will have the things that they need. So pick up one for him, one for somebody else. It's kind of how we're doing it this year.
That's very nice. Yeah, definitely find a donation drive near you. There are several locations, facilities around here that take school supply donations, or even if you have something unopened at home that you think a student could use, I guarantee you there will be a reason for it and an appreciation for it as well. Absolutely.
They are very expensive. Whew. But you know what? This is just one in the bucket.
We got 2 more.
No, that's so funny. Sorry, I was just walking away. Walking away from my life and into the forecast, Ed Matthews.
Yeah,
how does it look?
let's walk right into that 7-day. Pretty good shot of seeing some scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Your forecast team will keep a sharp eye on those. Maybe 1 or 2 strong storms with some gusty winds, and also slow-moving storms could dump some heavy downpours in a few spots. Couldn't rule out maybe some pockets of flash flooding. We're on our way to the mid-80s today. Now you say, oh, that's a little cooler than 90, and indeed it is, but you're not going to notice a difference because the humidity is way up there. 50% chance of the storms today. They'll die out this evening. And then a few regenerate tomorrow, 40% chance on Tuesday in upper 80s. And then the trend by the middle and latter part of the week will be for the storm chance to really get pretty low. Only a 20% chance for Wednesday and Thursday, 30% chance for Friday and the weekend. But we're going to crank the heat up for your enjoyment as you crank up the air conditioning for sure. Yeah, we're looking at some low 90s for the middle and latter part of the week. So get ready for that. And of course, there'll be a full dose of humidity mixed in with that heat.
Interesting, you said enjoyment as your adjective.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, yeah. I'm not good at picking up at sarcasm. So
yeah, I don't like it either. I mean,
it's not that I don't like it, I just can't get it.
Yeah, I want to take the dog out to the park. My dog's tongue is hanging out the side of her mouth, and I'm panting right along with her and all that. But yeah, be careful when it gets that hot, if you're working or playing outdoors.
Yeah, I always feel bad for those who are outside working when it's this hot.
Construction people working on the highways.
Right.
It's rough for them.
It is rough. Well, you know what? We make it easy. See how I transition? Take it rough, take it easy, mix it all together. We appreciate your time on After GMS. We always have a great time with chatting with all of you, and of course, our topics certainly get you going.
All right, we will see you back here tomorrow on Facebook Live at 7:45. In the meantime, join us at noon on WFMY News 2.